Hi everybody, welcome back. Guess what? You'll see here in a second that Jim has started by ripping up the carpet in the closet. So what we decided to do, since we're ripping up the whole carpet, but we didn't know what the floor was underneath it, and what kind of money we'd have to save or preparation we would have to do, that we went ahead and said, why don't we just do it under the closet? We don't care if our closet's not finished for a couple of weeks or perhaps months or whatever. If it's a decent subfloor and we can live with that, if we have to save money and get tile or whatever we need to do, we at least have a better idea now. So he has done that, and you'll see the video. But what I was doing while he was doing that was purging shoes. So let me show. Now this shoe purge was actually fairly recent that we did that, but I did get a couple of new pairs, like my new Harry Potter sneakers and these new like shiny slip-ons. They're really cute. Here are the shoes that I decided to keep, with one maybe because I did keep a gray suit, so I do want to keep a gray pair of shoes. I just said to Jim, I'm in no condition to try on these types of shoes right now, but I have to try both pairs on to see which I feel like better in, okay? Those are some shoes that were given away so far, plus we've already put away. Jim has to do his basket here. But these baskets, if you're interested, I got these at the Dollar General. I believe that they were half price, which would have made them $4 each, but I don't remember. I feel like watch the haul from a long time ago and you'll find out. But I like them because they're all the same size. We used to have different size baskets for our shoes in our closet, and this one just makes it so much better. Of course, I have two baskets and Jim only has one because boys and shoes. So we have that mess to deal with. We have this little space here. We're going to take all of the giveaway stuff that we have accumulated, and we're going to leave it over here against this area of the wall because the next thing to come out is the TV. I don't know when or where we'll share the TV. Did I record you doing the TV? I took some pictures. I took some recording of him taking the TV components out. You okay? Dusty's?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You okay? Okay. The living room TV had all of the 3 out of 4 of the gaming components in it, or game systems, and they're going to come in here. So what Jim did was he disconnected everything. We cleaned everything really well because there's a lot of nicotine on the electronics outside. And we packed them up so that they can come in here. He said he'll just be happy playing on the computer for the next day or two till we get the system switched over. Or actually, you said within the month we'll have the room done.
Hopefully in a month
we'll have the room done and set up. So that's awesome. But hopefully, if he's feeling better, but he did he did use a lot of energy doing that closet, because I told him, I was like, I really would like to just get the TV moved, but if we do the closet first, we can get all the stuff put away and it'll be out of your way to do the TV. So sometimes, you think of my cousin Vinny and you got to take the manifold apart before you take the thing apart, or the thing falls in the thing, and then, you remember that? Yeah, okay.
No.
I don't know. All I know is my biological clock is ticking like this. Anyway. So that's what we've done so far. I've mentioned the bag of clothes that are, that's the clothes that are going in garment bags that we didn't get yet, right? Just to remind me?
Yeah.
This big bag? Okay. So that's the garment bag clothes. I still have to get garment bags. These shoe baskets are going to go back, as well as the winter sweater baskets that are there. When Jimmy takes these shoe baskets, I'm going to ask him for my winter sweater basket because I made it and then we continued to throw stuff on top of it. So I need to fix it up again before we put it in the bottom of the closet. And that's it. I will share with you the finished product of the bottom of the closet. It doesn't have a proper floor. This was the first time Jimmy ever ripped up carpet or carpet tacking. He's very proud. I'm very proud of him too, but he's very proud of himself, which I'm so happy. I wasn't sure how he was going to feel. A lot of times he'll enter a project very apprehensive, like a little too scared to actually try. But I told him, I'm like, you can't mess this up. And even if you did, it's starting with the closet, so you're going to be good. And the carpet cut like a breeze. He was excited about that. He ended up getting the tack strips up very easily, he was excited about that. He just had a little, about 6-inch piece stuck under the baseboard. The last piece, always the last piece, right? So he was able to get it out, no problem, after a little bit, right? Brute strength. Go beast. Jim, go beast. So I'm just going to jump off now and I'll say goodbye later and I'll show you all the finished product, okay? So this is the first time Jim ever ripped carpet up, like I mentioned, but I just gave him all the instructions. I wish I could do it myself. This is one of those projects where I'm like, please, let me just get down there. But if you've never done this before and you're wanting to do it desperately, carpet usually has some sort of a grid underneath it that basically holds all the woven carpet on. And as he started to cut in a straight line, it does really cut easily in a straight line if your carpet was laid properly, which normally it is. But you basically cut along those grids. If you've ever done latch hook, that's what kind of it looks like underneath. And I told him just go for it. I told him as far as the closet's concerned, start on the inside of the doors so we can keep the doors closed for whenever we get to the rest of the room. And it still looks like we have carpet. But we definitely wanted to see what the subfloor was. And since this is his first time doing it, he didn't realize that there was carpet pad under it. So he took the picture that you're going to see here in a second and brought it out to me. And I said, well, that's just the carpet pad, so we have to see what's under that. So I started to get real excited, like, ooh, what's under there? Because I really wasn't sure. I knew that they redid the house in 2009, and this white subfloor was underneath the kitchen, so I wasn't sure what would be underneath the rest of the original part of the house. So after he pulled back the carpet, then he went ahead and he took a picture to show me, and I said, well, you have to take that blue stuff up too. So he went back in with the X-Acto knife, not the X-Acto knife, the box cutter, and utility knife, thanks. And he got the rest up. And then I just said, cut it away. That's all you have to do. Don't worry about it. Just go for it. And then he started cutting in the straight line. Now, if you have never put a floor down before, I will tell you there are so many tutorials on the interwebs, but there's also directions on almost every box of flooring that you can buy. Yes, there are some professional tips and tricks that you can get from watching different tutorials and different TV shows and stuff, but really, as far as like doing the basics, just read the instructions. I know that sounds silly. It's how I taught myself how to sew. I got a sewing machine and I read the instruction manual, and it told you how to do all the stitches. So just keep that in mind if you're interested in taking on a project like this. Also, good places to start are closets. If you have a pantry and you want to lay your first tiled floor, pantries are small. They usually don't have any cutouts, unlike bathrooms. Bathrooms are small, but they usually have cut around the vanity, cut around the toilet. Most pantries are just square boxes or closets. So it's a good place to start. You want to do peel and stick for the first time? There you go. You want to learn tile for the first time? There you go. Okay? So just an idea. So once he started to get up the carpet, then he had to deal with the tack strips. That was another thing. Jim is a very cautious worker where it comes to avoiding self-injury. If you've never seen a tack strip, it's basically a thin piece of wood that is nailed into the floor that has little tiny tacks, like literally the little bottoms of tack sticking up. And what it does is it grips the carpet. So if you've ever watched them put in a carpet, they kick their little knee stretcher. They kick their knee into the stretcher, and the carpet grabs onto the hook once it's stretched out. And that's what keeps your carpet in place as opposed to just rolling up. And I knew this because when we were younger, my mother put wall-to-wall carpet in by herself, and it was rolled all over the place. So there you go. So what he realized was, how was he going to do it? We looked for the pry bar, because I'm pretty sure I bought a pry bar from the Dollar Tree, but since we are rearranging things aren't always where you left them last. But then I told him, how about if you try a putty knife? A putty knife would work good, and he found this utility putty paint scraper situation that I got. I believe I got it from Lowe's. I don't think this one's from the Dollar Tree, but so he said that absolutely worked 100% perfect. It actually has a hook on this side or one side, so that when he came to like that last piece that I was mentioning that got stuck, he just sweeped it under and pulled towards him, and it came right out. So the rest of it pretty much went easy breezy. Actually, he had so much fun doing this. He said he cannot wait to pull up the rest. So he's really looking forward to getting it out. We do have a lot of trouble breathing in there. They're just, no matter how clean you get your carpet, they just hold all the allergens and stuff. So he's really excited about getting it done for sure. So, you want to be careful with this tack strip. Now, if you're a person who doesn't work as cautiously as Jim, wear work gloves. You can, any gardening gloves that you have that have the rubber on them that protects you from thorns, those would work okay. But really, you should get some heavy duty work gloves just to prevent yourself from stabbing yourself with the tacks. Okay? So, as he's figuring out how to do it, this is him learning, by the way. Learn as you go. It's literally, that's what Jim's doing. He asked me for tips. He likes to figure things out himself too, but he asked me what should I do, and then I tell him, and then he goes and he figures it out for himself, which is why you see here he's working just a little bit longer, and it looks like he's not getting anything done, but he is. He's actually figuring out what to do, which I really do love about him. He also has a hammer there because if your tack strip is nailed down too hard, you can use your hammer to smack your spatula strip thingy underneath to help pry it up. Okay, and there you go. Pops right off. He finally figured out how to do it. Yay! Now we have a heavy duty garbage can here. Definitely do that. If you're going to use a bag, make sure you use heavy duty bags. See what your city or village has for throwing stuff like this out. Some make you throw this kind of stuff out in a different kind of garbage can. So just make sure. Mine doesn't. Mine just says anything goes in the dumpster goes in the dumpster. So, okay. Now he just moves along to the rest of the carpet and continues along. And I did mention that the one last piece of tack strip, of course, got stuck under the baseboard molding. So he did eventually work it out himself. Like I mentioned, he got the little spatula hook underneath it and pulled it out towards him. But I was telling him there's different ways to do it, where you could pry up the baseboard a tiny bit with the claw part of a hammer. But he didn't find that necessary, so I just told him a couple of different things, and he ended up getting it, which was really good. I was very proud of him. Now the other thing he found is that the underlayment, the pad, basically the carpet pad, is stapled in a few sections, and you can find that from time to time depending on who laid your carpet. But all you just do is use a screwdriver, like a staple, any kind of thing you can pry up. They actually have staple removers that are like for commercial type staples. But just be careful, anything you get the staples out, to make sure you get you want your floor finish, your underlayment, to be as smooth as possible. If there's any nails, you want to hammer them down. If there's any hills and valleys, you want to get self-leveling compound that they have, basically. But, you definitely want to have your floor prepped as possible. That being said, when I was growing up in my old house, we never worried about that. And I mean it. We had bumps and hills in our floors, and we just stuck tiles down just to make it look pretty. We knew they weren't going to last, and we knew that it wasn't a professional job. But it's like almost one of those things where it's not a 911 emergency. But to get a nice, professional, good-looking job, you want to make sure you have totally as clean and flat of a surface as you possibly can get. Okay? Now, the last thing, I want to just give you this little tiny piece of advice as far as the prep work is concerned. Because really it is make sure you take as best measurements as you can. And then you want to add, they tell you to add 10% for waste. So basically, if your room is 10 by 10, you'll have 100 square foot. And then you add 10%, so you buy 110 square foot of flooring. So you have waste. Now, if you have certain things that have color variations in, you want to mix the boxes up. You want to make sure if you have something with a pattern, you pay attention to which way you lay it so the pattern always lines up. There's just like little tips that you'll get to, and maybe when you lay the floors, we can get to those tips as well. But as far as this prep work is concerned, definitely taking proper measurements while you go is absolutely 100% essential. Okay? Now, laying a floating floor like we're probably going to be laying, you also want to make sure that you measure your linear footage for your molding. With a floating floor, you just put like a shoe molding, or when I grew up, it was called quarter round, along the baseboard that holds it basically sits on top of the floor and keeps the floor from moving around too much. But the floor isn't glued, like the floor in the kitchen isn't glued down or nailed down to the floor underneath it. It's just floating on top of it, and it's held in place by the tongue and groove system as well as the edge molding. Okay. So I think that's it for now. I mean, just going to watch Jimmy do the rest, and I'll show you the finished product. But if you guys have any questions at all, there's going to be more coming in the project, so they may be answered. But I will read them. If you have questions, leave them, because perhaps I'll answer them in the following videos, voiceovers. Okay. So if you have any questions, definitely leave them in the comments for me. If you have anybody interested in being motivated to do something like this, this is almost the rest of the closet. I have ordered my garment bags. I just have to wait to get them tomorrow. I think they're coming tomorrow, which you'll see this today. They're coming today, the same day you see this. But that was the last thing out of all of the closet project. Tomorrow you'll see the video where we moved the TV out and the TV switch out, and a few other things that we did along the way, that I will share with you. Okay. So that's it. Again, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. Share this with anybody you feel like needs to be motivated to take on a project like this. If you're apprehensive like Jim is, just go for it. Really, that's all you could do, is go for it. You know, you could spend the money and call a professional. You could try it yourself, mess up, and then you end up spending the money to call a professional. But you can also try it yourself, do it, and then save all that money. So there's that. Okay? All right. Take care, everybody. God bless, and see you next time. Bye.